And now, from 12 Studios, this is News 12 Now.
Today is Thursday, April 18th. Welcome to News 12 Now. I'm Kylee Dedmon. New on 12 Now, a Whitewright woman was arrested yesterday, accused of pulling a gun on a man reading her water meter. Police say 48-year-old Wendy Andrew saw the public works employee in the right-of-way of a home on Farley Street and accused him of trespassing. She then pulled out a handgun, threatening the man and pointing the gun at him. Andrew is charged with aggravated assault of a public servant with a deadly weapon. No one was injured. A Gainesville police officer has been arrested for indecency with a child by sexual contact. According to the Gainesville Police Department, Officer Dustin Duncan submitted his resignation following his arrest, which is a second-degree felony. The Cook County Sheriff's Office has taken over the investigation. A federal class action lawsuit filed in Sherman yesterday claiming Cinemark is shortchanging customers on drinks. Shane Waldrop is suing the Plano-based chain after he says he bought a $9 24-ounce beer at a North Texas theater, but after he measured the cup, he found it only had 22 ounces. He says this violates Texas's Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practices Act. He's seeking a jury trial compensation and for the theater to repackage its drinks. Day 3 of former President Donald Trump's hush money trial. Mr. Trump left Trump Tower for Manhattan Criminal Court this morning, where the jury selection process resumed. Now, in an unexpected turn of events, a juror who was sworn in on Tuesday was excused by the judge this morning after revealing she could not be fair. Another juror is also facing potential dismissal for allegedly not being forthcoming on the questionnaire. Trump is accused of falsifying business records to hide a hush money payment made to adult film star Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Daniels was allegedly paid to keep quiet about an affair, which Trump denies. Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts in the first ever criminal trial of a former U.S. president. And for the first time in decades, a basketball player has been thrown out of the NBA for gambling. Toronto Raptors backup Jontay Porter is banned for life for betting on games and giving confidential insider information to other bettors. Jerrica Duncan has more on the decision.
Porter, the open three.
The allegations against Jontay Porter were blatant. An NBA investigation found Porter gave a better information about his own health status prior to a Toronto's game on March 20th. A bettor placed $80,000 on Porter not hitting certain in-game milestones. Porter left the game after just 3 minutes, claiming he felt ill. The bet was frozen because of the unusual activity. Porter was also found to have placed 13 bets on NBA games, including bets on his own team to lose, although he didn't play in those games. The league's collective bargaining agreement forbids any player who directly or indirectly wagers money or anything of value on any game or event. Yesterday, Commissioner Adam Silver took the rare step of banning Porter from the league for life, writing, "There is nothing more important than protecting the integrity of NBA competition for our fans, our teams, and everyone associated with our sport."
Yo, DraftKings, y'all got the most ways to bet on NBA players.
But if you watch any basketball game these days, betting content is everywhere. The NBA even has official sports betting partners with ads on nearly every broadcast. Commissioner Silver supports a regulated betting market.
And I think at least in a legalized structure, there's transparency.
You had to be concerned that the access that betting has now to basketball would lead to something like this.
Joe Vardon is a senior NBA writer for The Athletic. He says the NBA betting deals are here to stay, but that the league needs to be more vigilant.
Major corporations don't typically cut off a pipeline to millions of dollars. So I think it's going to continue. It's just a matter of what can they pursue to make this a little easier to manage.
We asked Porter's agent for comment but haven't heard back. The Players Association says players must follow gambling rules, but Porter deserves due process. Well, at this point, Porter cannot appeal the lifetime ban to the commissioner, so he likely will never wear an NBA uniform again. Jerika Duncan, CBS News, New York.
Well, turning to weather now, let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Brian Briggs. Brian, we have a lot happening with our weather patterns today. It's kind of a little bit of a roller coaster we got today.
Yeah, it's April, so not
Yeah.
unexpected. But yeah, we've got some big swings in temperatures, and we are awaiting our next thunderstorm chance to kind of develop here. At least right now, we have not seen either one of those happen. But notice off towards the north and west of that graphic, which is kind of on, at least to my left, you can see all that green. That is cooler air, and that is the cold front. So we still are well into the warm area of this front, but shortly here we'll start to see the beginnings of this cold front move into Texoma. So it's knocking on our doorstep. This is what's really incredible to me is our dew point and how much it's increased. If you recall this morning, it was in the low to mid 60s, and it's in the low 70s now. So this is absolutely disgustingly humid air, and it may turn into some storms. Also wind-wise too, we're still out of the south and west. So we are putting a weather alert into play today for that chance for a few strong storms along the cold front. Hail and wind will be the main threats. We'll run you through your future cast here in just a second. Until then, back to you, Kylie.
All right, thank you, Brian. Well, taking a look at our political news now, heading into today's session, Democrats needed at least 2 Republican lawmakers to join them and overturn Speaker Ben Toma in the end. Democrats came within a single vote, forcing the vote Toma didn't want. The lone Republican who joined Democrats, Matt Gress, who represents a moderate swing district in central Phoenix, it was clear that he would pay a political price for crossing the aisle today. Gress was eventually heckled by anti-abortionists in the House gallery, with some of them calling him a traitor.
Many of my Republican colleagues agree that we need to repeal the territorial ban, and it's going to happen.
You hear the cat calls from up there.
They're calling you a traitor.
I am proudly pro-life.
Gress says he strongly opposes abortion, but believes the 160-year-old abortion ban goes too far. Democrats say they are not done trying to get rid of the law that outlaws all abortion except in cases where the mother's life is at risk. The U.S. House could vote as soon as this weekend on foreign aid bills to help Ukraine, Israel, and the Indo-Pacific. Natalie Brandt has more from Washington.
To order. House lawmakers are meeting Thursday to discuss a long-awaited aid package to provide U.S. allies with critically needed funds. The plan includes 3 separate bills with more than $60 billion in security assistance for Ukraine and $26 billion for Israel. Another $8 billion is pegged for the Indo-Pacific with the goal of countering China.
It is urgent that all of the friends and supporters of Ukraine maximize their efforts.
Speaking with foreign ministers at the G7, Secretary of State Antony Blinken and his Ukrainian counterpart urged the House to act.
Support the supplemental that will literally, without exaggeration, help save Ukrainians from Russian missile slaughter.
House Speaker Mike Johnson is in the difficult position of trying to sell the package to House conservatives.
I'm doing here what I believe to be the right thing. I think providing lethal aid to Ukraine right now is critically important.
Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has already threatened to trigger a vote to oust Johnson over the Ukraine aid. On the other side of the aisle, Democrats are criticizing the speaker for inaction.
We knew this moment was coming. He knew this moment was coming. You know, it's never too late to do the wrong thing, but it costs lives, the fact that he's waited so long.
President Biden has indicated support for the package. Speaker Johnson hopes by putting separate bills on the floor, it will increase the chance of passage. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
A 4th bill focused on a GOP foreign policy objectives proposes a U.S. ban on TikTok and tougher sanctions on Russia, China, and Iran. And staying on the topic of Iran, as the U.S. deliberates over aid to the Middle East, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is sending a message of defiance as allies try to cool tensions over Iran. Deborah Pata has the story.
Best as I could.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has brushed off calls for restraint from Israel's allies as his war cabinet deliberates a response to Iran. They have all kinds of advice, he said, but I want to make it clear we will make our own decisions. There is global concern this could spiral into a regional war and open a new front for Israel still fighting in Gaza after more than 6 months. Every day there are regular airstrikes. This one killing 4 people after a UN school sheltering displaced Palestinians in the north was hit. I can't find my daughter, cries this distraught woman. Everyone here has already lost so much. And now Gaza is hurtling towards famine.
And it's urgent.
It is urgent, absolutely.
There has been an improvement with the number of trucks bringing humanitarian aid into Gaza, but the problem is distribution. That, says Israel, is the UN's responsibility. But the UN's head of aid distribution told us Israel systematically impedes delivery within Gaza by delaying access at checkpoints. Unless things change, the UN warns famine will consume Gaza by next month.
It's hurting because it's man-made and totally preventable.
Deborah Patter, CBS News, Jerusalem.
28 Google employees fired after they staged a protest over the company's business ties to Israel. The workers stormed a top executive's office while employees held a 10-hour sit-in protest at offices in New York City and California.
Not another push, not another line, no more tech for genocide.
A Google spokesperson says they were fired for, quote, physically impeding other employees' work and preventing them from accessing our facilities, which is a clear violation of our policies, end quote. The employees were protesting against, quote, Project Nimbus, end quote.
We charge you with genocide. Project Nimbus is a cloud contract which provides cloud infrastructure and cloud services to the Israeli government. We demand an end to the contract Project Nimbus. We demand that Google execs drop Project Nimbus now.
Project Nimbus reportedly provides Israel with the full suite of Google Cloud's artificial intelligence and machine learning tech. 9 workers were also arrested immediately from Google offices after the protest. Well, that's all for this afternoon's News 12 Now. Be sure to tune into News 12 at 5, 6, and 10 tonight for a complete wrap of what happened today in Texoma and beyond. Thanks for watching and have a fantastic Friday, Junior.